Time for our May 16th garden update. So, everything's planted. Right now my focus is on drainage around the house. So I dug out a channel today to let water drain out of here. And then water goes over here, and we have a little dam forming. So we're about to see a shit ton of water. Because my garden got 5 inches of rain. I was about to dump that out, but I'll walk right over here. So what we got, the rain meter, 5 inches in one night. Let me see. Goodbye. Don't want this thing falling apart. But that's probably more rain than we got all of last month in one day. So anyways, out here, floods, it's probably 2 inches deep right here. Over here, we probably have a nice little trail of coffee heading off from my pile because there's a ton of coffee in my leaves and stuff. I haven't been shredding any lately, but there's a bunch there. Like I said, while we're doing this, I'm just going to kick out some leaves so water drains better, because that is an issue of the day. We're about to discuss drainage. So my backyard floods. When it rains, all these yards down from here flood into my yard. And like, for instance, where are we at? We are above my shoe level, so that's 3 inches at least there. It goes in the garden, and this is why I have channels through my garden. This way water will flood through here. My garden is slightly elevated above the water, but it's pretty close to the water level right now. And once we get to the back corner, we'll highlight the issue I have with this fence and using wooden mulch. Because I stopped using wood mulch because it clogs my fence line. And like I said, we're at 3 inches of water right here. My garden is still nicely not flooded. I built my trellis for my cucumbers and stuff. So, I mean, water is one thing, but otherwise, yeah. So I built this week. I took an old swing set and put it up here. And now I have my trellis for my cucumbers to grow up, and I added some more fencing to it. So anyways, tomatoes are in shape over here. They are doing quite good. There's some yellowing on the leaves. I really need to look this up. I'm not sure if I over-fertilize them, but some have it, some don't. And I don't want it to be a disease that can spread. I have to always look for weeds because sunflowers take no time to get 3 feet tall. They're up in a jiffy, so I'll pull a couple of those guys out. Peppers are right here doing all right. More tomatoes over here. So this section is mostly planted. There's a couple spots I could go through left, and there's a lot of weeds to pick, but I don't know if I'll bother with it today. But there's a bunch of basil I just planted. My broccoli, which is right here, actually, I need to actually harvest this today because it's already starting to go to seed on this one. So that's actually a little past its prime. These are a little early to pick, so I missed this by about 2 days. But otherwise, you want to, like, this is so densely packed on your broccoli. You don't see like the little roundness of these guys. So this is a little bit past. Once they start spreading out, it's too late. This is too early. So that's the difference. These guys are going to be cauliflower right over here. But anyways, over here I have my watermelon. It's starting to take off. It's got a bunch of like runners heading out in all directions, so I should get some watermelon this year. We have one dandelion showing up not dandelion, marigold showing up right there. And like I said, it's still 3 inches deep, and we're not even at the back of the garden where it is the deepest because it gets to the fence line. My corn is looking really good. This whole section of random plants, there's tomatillos are going to dominate. I will thin these out shortly. Like, I hadn't picked all the weeds because I was letting everything kind of grow out, and then I can see what's what. But I pretty much knew what was what for the most part. But this is 4 inches deep right here. But this is why I designed channels through my garden so water can flow out in these directions, and everything else. It's already at the height of the wood. That wood is underneath the water level here, so that gives you an idea. So it's heading to the back of the yard, and I'll probably end the video at the back of the yard because I'm about to have to do some serious drainage stuff. But otherwise, this is going to have my cucumbers starting to grow up here shortly. There's some cantaloupe over here, more tomatoes over here, tomatoes, peppers. Everything is looking really good for the most part. There's a little bit of yellowing on some of the leaves there, but otherwise these are here. And I am at 5 inches deep here. So I am completely, yeah, my shoes are basically almost completely underwater. But the issue is, notice the water level. This is its own dam. And this is my problem with my backyard. And I have to just dig out a hole. Honestly, I should probably just cut this. But dogs are the main concern. But notice, now I've got I'm letting the river at bay. I should move this fence also. But, this is the issue with my yard. And why I don't use wood mulch. Because it just clogs your fence line. And my yard is probably 3 inches deeper than it should be. Because of this drain. It's totally clogged all the way along the fence. So disadvantage of chain link fences if you live in an area that's a floodplain. So anyways, I'm going to have to deal with that here in a second, but we'll move back over here to the asparagus. So I've got a few going on right here. This guy's a little too tall, but it's starting to fern out. It's kind of approaching end of season for them. Also, this is my artichoke, and as it's my first time going artichokes, I probably should have picked it already, but I think this, I'll double check, but I think I'll probably harvest this here in a few. Added some more basil. The end of my broccoli over here is already happened. That plant doesn't, that plant is seeding. And then there's a bunch of other plants I can pot and share and give away and other stuff, but that is the current state of a flooded garden, but otherwise looking pretty good. So, cheers.